Am I the asshole? For defending my parents' choice to take money for my sister's surgery out of her college fund? I am a freshman in college, as is my sister Leah. Our parents weren't the best off growing up, but they always set aside money for us to go to college. Leah played soccer, and before her freshman year of high school our parents sat her down and told her that if she played, she needed to be careful because if she got hurt all the money to pay for it would come out of her college fund. Several schools in the league our high school is in are pretty good with a reputation for playing rough, and she isn't the biggest person, so she knew there were risks involved. In our sophomore year she had a pretty bad non-contact injury that ended up needing surgery and several months of physical therapy. All this money came out of what would be contributed to her fund, and I don't know an exact number but all the appointments and stuff were at least several thousand. Now we're both going to similarly priced schools, and she will need more loans than I do. In a group chat we're both in I made a joke about how expensive college is and she responded, now imagine paying thousands more because your parents don't want to pay for your medical bills. I privately messaged her and told her I didn't think she should be sharing personal stuff like that and that she knew the risks of soccer and chose to play anyway. She said that she was free to share something that really upset her and that I needed to stick up for her against our parents. She's argued about this many times. She said that they paid for my medical bills so they should for hers and that I was a shitty sister and is asking for me to tell our parents they should have paid. I don't think I should have to. They clearly outlined what they would and wouldn't pay for and the risks she chose to take aren't my problem. Am I the asshole here? Hold on, why did they pay for your medical bills but not hers? Not enough details here, but I'm getting the feeling you're not sharing on purpose because it would make you and your parents look like the assholes. You're the asshole and painfully obvious that you are also the favored child. Your parents should not have used the college fund, especially when they paid for your treatments out of pocket. Not the asshole, although I wouldn't have said anything to her about speaking on it in public. I would, however, clarify that she had been given a choice and is now facing the consequences. AITA. Love how you left out some key information here and just casually slip in that they paid for your medical bills and not hers. What's the story there, Opham? You on high. Ib be up job NBL high. Iobu. Sucks here. Not the asshole. Best wishes for a great school year for both of you. You're the asshole and your parents are horrible. You're the asshole. You should stay out of it. I also think your parents are assholes. This was a non-contact injury and they also paid your sports injuries. You're not to blame for your parents being assholes, but at the very least it's an extra reason to stay out of it. Did they not have insurance? Or good insurance? I can't imagine copays were that bad if they had decent insurance. I could be wrong, but why would they have two college funds but shitty medical insurance? I honestly believe they should have had insurance for their minor children and not taken from the college fund. You're the asshole and so are your parents. Your parents didn't have health insurance from a job for the family? Your sister is the asshole. She went in knowing the risks and she made the decision to proceed. Unfortunately, she had an incident and is paying for it. It sucks, but it was her decision to make and her consequences to live with. She's holding a grudge against your parents that does need to be addressed. You're the asshole. Being informed in advance makes it no less of a D-move. Parents are responsible for the medical expenses of a minor child, full stop. I don't know who the R is here, but I'm really glad I don't like in a country with either of these problems. Not the asshole took the risk stupidly. You're the asshole. I didn't think she should be sharing personal stuff like that. Guilty people love discretion. You're the asshole for telling your sister what she can talk about. She was not lying. Your parents are more the assholes for not treating the both of you equally. If your college fund was not used to cover your medical bills but your sisters were, then that is unfair. It does not matter if a young teen agreed to it. That was unfair to ask in the first place. If they had money for other things but just didn't want to use it on your sister's injury, that was horrible. AITA. You're the asshole. She has a right to be upset. 1. Did your parents not have insurance? 2. If they were so poor to not have insurance, they would qualify for Medicaid, which pays for surgery. 103. They paid for your medical expenses but not hers. This seems very inequitable and questionable. Your sister has a valid point. Not the asshole. Medical bills are crazy high, as well as college fees. They use the funds they save for her. In the end, she benefits from her parents' savings. Does insurance not cover it? Your parents and you ate a holes. Maybe you'll see that someday. You're the asshole. Good luck ever having a good relationship with your sister. Oh, favorite golden child. You're the asshole, and so are your parents. I hate the fact people are making the assumption Ops parents were making this decision out of malice. It is possible to just not have the money for additional expenses. I applaud Ops parents for putting money aside for their kids, considering they shouldn't have told them, so there would be no such expectation. Once again, the US healthcare system is the biggest asshole, but you are clearly the golden child. All sports have injury risk, and I know plenty of people who had medical bills despite not being athletes at all. It is a parent's responsibility to make sure their children get medical care. The fact that the US healthcare system is an exploitative joke and it costs more than it has any right to is irrelevant, because they decided your bills were important enough to pay for but your sister's weren't. Except your sister. You're the asshole for telling her not to talk about it. Your parents are huge assholes for doing this to your sister, and you thinking it is normal or okay also makes you an asshole. Why didn't your parents have insurance? They could afford to put thousands in savings but didn't have health insurance? Who TF sits a child down and tells her that they won't be paying for medical expenses if that child plays a sport and gets injured, and they'll have to pay for the medical expenses themselves? If you can't afford to pay for these things, don't allow her to play ridiculous. A child shouldn't have to worry about that, and probably didn't even believe something would happen. She was a child. Is no one mentioning how crazy it is that someone would have to choose between healthcare or college? This is why you shouldn't play public schools sports. You destroy your body and you and your family to deal with the consequences. You're the asshole. Regardless of who is right about the medical bills, and I agree with your sister, for the record, you have no right to tell her not to talk about it. Also, if you think it's right that your parents didn't pay her medical bills, there's no reason to be ashamed of her sharing it if she shouldn't tell people. You know it's wrong. You're the asshole. How on earth could your sister control the fact that she got injured? So, if you ever get sick or injured, will you be punished for it by having it rubbed in your face and having to go into debt? Did your parents not have health insurance for you and your sister? If you think your parents did the right thing, you wouldn't be telling your sister not to talk about it. It affects her, she can talk about it all she wants. And this is another example of why shitty health insurance and for-profit healthcare sucks. Why don't you stay out of it? It's none of your business. You're the asshole. Probably should have gotten better insurance. It was a non-contact injury, odds are high it was an ACL or Achilles. My company insurance wouldn't make me pay so much it would cost my son's college fund. You're the asshole. The post leaves a lot of information out. Reading the comments from Op, she is the R1. Parents could have paid for the sister medical bill. 2 OP had an injury and the bill was paid for. 3 both her and her sister sustained non-contact injuries. 4 OP could have sided with the sister and advocated with parents. 5 sounds like the parents just had something against one specific sport, which was what her sister liked. Anyway, clear you're the asshole, if you read all OP comments. You're the asshole. Since you seem to believe that your parents have nothing to be ashamed of, your sister should have the right to talk about this whole mess of a situation. Get it together, Op.